Well, hello dear viewers, this is Wolf, and welcome to Level Up Reviews. Today we finish Story of Wizardry and Surtak with Wizardry 8. Let's jam! Last time we left Surtak, they released a spin-off game, Nemesis Wizardry Adventures. But their main focus was on releasing continuation of mainline Wizardry games. Even though David Bradley was gone, Robert Surtak was under the impression that they would not have problem with finishing the trilogy. So Surtak employed Australian distributor DirectSoft, who in turn hired a small development team to develop next Wizardry game, project known as Stones of Arnhem. Although Robert Surtak did say that it would not be guaranteed that this game would receive a Wizardry title, but it had to earn the right to be called Wizardry. The development of the game faced many problems. Surtak did not see results company was looking for, so at first they cut the pay, and afterwards Surtak cancelled the project altogether. One and only game Surtak cancelled. I think a lot of this could be attributed to the fact that development team included filmmakers and actors. Robert Surtak highly disliked Hollywood-made games, so he probably disliked development team to begin with. Later, two programmers, Michael Shamgar and Cleveland Blackmore, joined the team, but by this time it was too late. Surtak was losing too much money. In conclusion, DirectSoft was dissolved. Surtak changed the plans. They concentrated more on Jagged Alliance franchise. But even though Jagged Alliance was a successful game, Wizardry was still an unfinished business Surtak wanted to tackle. Especially, one person of the team wanted to finish Wizardry. After all, she owed that much to her mentor, Brenda Louise Garno, better known as Brenda Romero, was born on October 12, 1966 in New York, USA. Her family was relatively poor, so she ended up playing board games bought on garage sales, a lot of them with missing pieces and rule books. So to make games playable, she made up her own rules. She got deeper into the gaming when she got D&D White Box, although she did not like some of the rules, so she rewrote them, as she would with the broken board games. Brenda's first encounter with computer games came with the arcade machine Tron. She spent pretty much all her money playing it. She showed more interest in computers after her mother brought home Commodore 64. It seemed like Brenda was destined for game development, as one day, while smoking in girls' bathroom, Linda Surtak walked in, asking for a cigarette. Most girls offered her menthols, which Linda was not interested in. Brenda had some non-menthols, so she offered her some. Linda took it, and then came the offer that would change 15-year-old Brenda's life forever, if she would work for Surtak Hotline. Brenda was not sure about what Surtak or Wizardry was, but when she found out that it was something like D&D, she happily agreed. Her job would last from 4 to 8, as this was the time Hotline was open. Any free time she would get, she would play around with Apple II. Of course, she would also be influenced by people around her. After all, she had great developers like Robert Woodhead and Andrew Greenberg working around her. So she started learning from the best. Around this time, she also took a course in BASIC. Afterwards, she decided to look into UCSD Pascal, since this was the programming language Wizardry was developed in. By this time, another change came to company that would influence Brenda even more. Woodhead and Greenberg would leave, and David Bradley would take their place. Bradley would be a great mentor to Brenda. He would take his time to explain why he was doing certain things in the games and show her ropes. Brenda would also start doing more jobs, like playtesting the games. But as I mentioned in the earlier videos, Bradley would not stay in the company. After a dispute between owners of Surtag, he left. Unfortunately, this would end the relationship between Brenda and David Bradley. It was also around this time when Brenda graduated from Clarkson University, but she never stopped working. In fact, she kept playtesting games, writing manuals, and even doing some tidying up work. This would be her role with Stones of Arnhem, but she wanted to have bigger role in the game, to have a proper send-off for her mentor's work. This opportunity would come as Surtag decided to finish the Wizardry with their own team. Linda Curie would be in charge, but really it would be more of a collaboration between the Surtag team. Of course, Brenda would have more investment in Wizardry games. She really wanted to finish David Bradley's story properly. This is why story of the game was most important part for the team. Development process went smoothly enough. The development team paid a lot of attention to reaction of the playtesters and even changed the story based on the feedback. More about that later. The game engine is Surrender 3D, and really Wizardry 8 is the only game that I found with this engine. Finally, after 9 years from release of its predecessor, in 2001, Wizardry 8 was released. The game was quite well received by the critics, receiving Best Computer RPG of 2001 award from various publications. Critics more specifically praised music of the game. It is composed by legendary composer Kevin Mantei, who also received a lot of awards for the score in Wizardry 8. The story of the game is the continuation of Wizardry 7's story. Basically, you will need to find 3 cosmic artifacts: Astral Domine, Chaos Moleri, and Destiny Dominus. You start the game based on the end of the last game. If you side with Umpani or Trang, Dark Savant shuts you down. You land on planet Dominus, and you will start in respective camps of each faction. If you refuse to give up Astral Domine, you keep floating in the space. If you left with Vi, you also get shut down and land near the temple. And finally, if you start a new game, you are recruited by the Mook Alliance, who have found Chaos Moleri, one of the cosmic artifacts, and you guessed it, you get shut down by the Dark Savant. If you choose to start a new game, you will need to create a new character. Races are still the same. There are no differences in the jobs either. The only difference is the thieves are called rogues now, and the addition of new class, Gadgeteer. You can also choose the difficulty setting. And there is also an homage to old Wizardry games, an Iron Man mode. Here you cannot save. Game automatically saves when you quit it. Like in Wizardry 7, story of the game is built on rival factions. Umpani, who want to destroy Trang Mothership. Trang, who want to destroy Umpani Mothership. Trinis, who want to get rid of the Redkin, who invaded their home, Trenton, which is a city built in a giant tree. Redkin, who want to take revenge on Dark Savant. The Mook, who want to investigate planet Dominus. Rapex, who are allied with Dark Savant, and engage in some very screwed up demonic activities. And of course, the Dark Savant, who like you wants the 3 artifacts. He also planted a bomb in Ornica that you need to deactivate. You can have 8 party members in total. You also can recruit 12 NPCs. Vi, Domina, Valkyrie, Miles, the Rogue, Sparks, the Ranger, Sax, the Bard, Madras, the Gadgeteer, Sexus, the Mage, RFC 81, the Monk, Tantris, the Samurai, Zanik, the Ninja, Rodan Lurex, the Lord, Sergeant Glump, the Fighter, and Urk, the Psionic. Some of the characters are temporary, but even non-temporary NPCs will not follow you everywhere. Miles, for example, has problems with the law, so he will not enter either Trang or Umpani camps, well, and a lot of other places. Vi is afraid of a monster in the sea caves, so she will not follow you there, and so on. The game is also fully voiced. I do like voice acting, especially the small comments your party members make. The battle system is the worst part of this game. It is turn-based, each monster moves in turn, which makes the game very slow. I really am not a fan of it. You go into the battle mode when enemy approaches. You get long-ranged and short-ranged weapons. If enemy is far away and you do not have long-ranged weapons, you need to walk up to them, and sometimes this will take a very long time. On the other hand, if you have powerful magic, you can reach quite far. You can also switch to continuous phase mode, but really this does not improve the game. Magic does look cool. You can also enter the battle mode preemptively and run past through some guarded areas. But running away in most situations just takes very long time. It is not recommended. The whole game is structured very freely. Basically, you need to find 3 artifacts, and really it does not matter in which order you're gonna get them. You can get Destiny Dominus from Martin's Ghost in Sea Caves, and make sure to have Serenity Helm before getting it, or you will go mad. You can get Astral Domine from Redkin Boss, Don Barlone. You can either buy it or kill him and take it. I also love Carlo Gambino reference here.
Do not let his looks deceive you. He is as sly as a fox and as brutal as a lion.
The Mook have the Chaos Molari. You can get it and replace it with a fake one, which Dark Savant drops at the swamp. After you collect all of the artifacts, you need to go to Rapax and pass the Templar quest to gain access to the teleporters. If you will come across Rapax Away Camp, you can free 2 prisoners, 1 Trang and 1 Umpani. If you were doing all the quests from both sides, except the last one, you can secure alliance between Trang and Umpani. Together, they can destroy the Dark Savant mothership. This option came in when Brenda discovered that one of the playtesters was playing both sides, strongly believing that he could make peace. So she inserted this option, along with one of the parties randomly discovering your double-crossing. I also love the reference to older games. You meet Jeanette Helazoid from Wizardry 7, although she is in horrible shape. You can also meet Bella and give him Rebecca's ring. He is very touched by this action. Anyways, back to the main story. You will need to detonate bomb in Ornica, if not, Dark Savant will win. After doing all of this, you will need to get to Ascension Peak. There are some tough fights here, especially with Rapex Prince and his army. You will need to answer Alcedius' questions and place each artifact in its place, and then get to Cosmic Cycle. Here you meet Bella and Dark Savant. Dark Savant kills Alcides, and you find out that Dark Savant is Punzang, who was exiled by Cosmic Lords. Afterwards, you will have 3 options. Siding with Dark Savant, which will result in a fight against Bella and Vi. The second option, writing in the book, will result in you fighting Dark Savant and killing him. You will rewrite all the wrongs done, bringing peace to factions you interacted with. The third choice results in you tearing out a page from the book, which splits Punzang and Dark Savant, after which you fight against Dark Savant and kill him. Punzang tells you that universe ends because pages turn, so you write a new universe into existence. It is also very interesting that you get final save, as if Surtak intended to make Wizardry 9. But alas, after releasing patches for Wizardry 8 in 2003, Surtak chose to close its doors. This was the end of legendary Surtak. As Robert Surtak said, Wizardry went out with a bang. All in all, playing Wizardry series is an interesting experience, with its ups and downs, changing its vision many times, along with its creator. But we can surely say that no matter if it was Robert Woodhead and Andrew Greenberg, or David Bradley, or Linda Curie and Brenda Romero, under a watchful eye of Surtak, all of them put their all to develop one of the most influential role-playing games ever made. After all, without Wizardry, Japanese RPG scene would have looked very differently. Without Final Fantasy, without Dragon Warrior, and many other classics. Just for this, we owe Wizardry and Surtak a great gratitude. It is no wonder that Wizardry IP ended up in Japan, spanning many spin-offs. But this is no longer a story of Surtak and its version of Wizardry. Reviewing Wizardry and Ultima Games was a great pleasure for me. But there was a third one, a legendary game, a latecomer who threw itself to the discussion of best RPG series ever made, with all its might. Shout out to my brand new subscribers, Prajayan Kasir Gramanathan, Derek Washuk, Henry Kula, Hawks Road, Amp Highwind, Jeremy Gregorio, The Sign Eback, Gaiunx Wolfen X, Gabrin Domingos, and all the rest of you whose names unfortunately I do not see. Thank you for subscribing and welcome to my channel.
If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment. Thank you very much.